Welcome, here I've got Xiaomi Redmi Note 10s and I'm gonna show you how to use the Camera Pro mode at this device. So let's start by tapping on the camera button to open it, and for now we are on standard photo mode. We have to change it now, so by using this settings bar and going to the left we can get access to Pro. Here we are. This mode gives us possibilities to choose some shooting parameters by ourselves. This is useful when we want to learn photographic skills or making experiments with photography. So let me start with this settings bar. Let's go from the right. The first one option we can pick here is the lens. We are on wide. At the center we have access to ultra wide, so as you can see this is how it changes, and we can pick also the macro, so the closer one. Now let's stay on wide and move to the next one parameter, the exposure compensation. Here we can manage the light of our picture. This option allows us to do it in some basic way. We have this slider at the center. We are on auto parameters, auto exposure compensation. By going to the right we can make our picture more bright. By going to the left we can make it more dark, as you can see. So now let's move to the center, to auto exposure compensation, and let's go to the third parameter here, the ISO. Here we can change camera's sensitivity to light. We can make it less sensitive from 50, or by going to the right on the slider more sensitive to 6 and 4000. So this is really wide choice and it is really pro feature here, like in really professional camera. And here we can also easily go back to auto ISO if we need by tapping on this A letter button from the left. Now let's move to the next one option, the shutter speed. Here we can change the time of taking picture and it allow us to make it shorter from 1 and 4000 of second. So this is really short time, and it should be definitely better to objects that are, for example, in move, to frozen them at our picture. By going to the right we can make the time much longer. The longest here is 30 seconds, so this should be definitely better to objects that are stable at our pictures. We can of course easily go back to auto shutter speed by using this button from the left with A letter. And let's focus here also again on the ISO and exposure compensation, because the shutter speed together with ISO adjusted manually are kind of exposure compensation. So this is really professional way to adjust our light on the picture, and as I said, the standard button with exposure compensation is to basic light management. So for now it is locked. When we use these two parameters the exposure compensation is locked. So if you want to unlock this you have to be on shutter speed or on ISO on the auto settings, so then you get access to it. So remember about it because this is important. And here also we have one extra feature that can help us to adjust our exposure compensation better. So let's move now to the right corner button. When we pick it we get access to more options about the camera we can manage. Most of them is also in standard photo mode, but in the Pro we have this button, exposure verification. So just one tap to turn it on, another tap to turn it off, and when we have it turned on we can check if we adjust the exposure correctly. So for now it is correctly adjusted. Let me go to the left here and maybe to lower ISO, and as you can see when it is too less light at the picture, so we don't have enough light, it shows us this blue signs of the areas that are underexposed of our picture. And when we give to our photo too much light it shows us these signs that shows us overexposed areas of our photos. So we can adjust this and check it if we do it correctly by using these two buttons. And also when we move back to shutter speed and the ISO on auto and use this exposure compensation button, also it is working here, as you can see. And now let's tap to the right corner to turn it off. and focus again on the settings bar to move to the next one option, defocusing. We are on autofocus now. By using this slider we can change it to manual, and as you can see this is how to do it. Of course you can stay also on auto when you tap to the left button with a letter, but I want to show you that when we again tap to the right corner button here in the settings, we have also focus peaking here from the right, so just one tap to turn it on and another tap to turn it off. And when we have it turn it on, as you can see we have these red signs, so it shows us the areas that are focused correctly on our picture, and this is also really helpful when we use this manually. Now let's turn this off and go back to autofocus and move to the next one, the last option on the settings bar, the white balance. Here we can manage the temperature of our picture, and it depends from the light we have in the area where we take a photo, so we can pick the tungsten light, daylight, white fluorescent light and the cloudy light. And when we tap to this button from the right, we get access to extra slider. Here we can adjust the white balance manually in Kelvin degrees. By going to the right we can make it warmer, by going to the left we can make it colder, so this is kind of balance between the blue and the orange light of our picture, the warm and cold tones of it. And of course, to go back to auto settings we have to move to this view and tap to the A letter button from the left. And I want to show you also that when we adjust all of this manually, we don't have to separately go back to auto settings. We can tap to this button that appears here and reset them to all to start using them from the beginning. So this is also helpful and we don't need to separate click on all of this. And now let's move to this settings bar. Here we have also some basic settings that are in standard photo mode, but in the Pro we have this second from the left button that allow us to pick the metering. We can pick frame average metering, also the spot metering and center weighted. And now let's move again to the right corner button. When we pick it, I've showed you the focus picking and the exposure verification. Here we have also third extra button in the Pro mode, the RAW. So just one tap to turn it on, another tap to turn it off, and when we have it turn it on, we can save our pictures not only in JPEG but in RAW format. So RAW format is used by professional photographers to saving more details at the pictures and post-producing them in graphic programs, and this is also really pro here. Now let's turn this off and move back to this settings and tap to this button from the left with I letter. Here we get access to some short tutorial and you can read about all of these features also, so I think you can learn from this and this is also useful. And for now let me take a picture by using this settings. So let's stay on white lens, let's leave the exposure compensation because I want to use the ISO and the shutter speed together. Defocusing maybe here, and the white balance, let's stay on the white fluorescent light. To see my picture, let's move to the left, to the button that follows us straight to the gallery. So this is how it looks like. Of course, this is only an example. I suggest you to making experiments with all of these settings and just have a good fun. Thanks for watching, subscribe our channel and leave the thumbs up.